The Dubuque Area Arts Collective presents Ruix Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of the Ruix Podcast. My name is John Eagle, and as always, thanks for being here. Today is Bret Miller Day, which is I'm excited for, but before I get into that, I want to talk about the upcoming events that we have here at DAAC and Ruix. Because I assume that maybe some of you out there don't listen to every episode. You kind of cherry pick what you want to hear, or maybe you're not listening to any of them. That could be too, but I'm still going to talk about it because I have the mic. So first and foremost, we have the Music Series 8 show coming up on October 16th, and that will feature Gosh from the Quad Cities and Arc Numbers. That's Bob Bucko Jr. and Christina Castaneda, who will be on this show very, very soon. And The Deep Light, featuring Sean Healy and his girlfriend Lisa, their new project. So that should be a good show, one worth checking out for sure. And on the art side, we have the Dark Slide Skateboard Show coming up on November 28th, upstairs at the DAAC Gallery. Actually, there's also an art sale coming up, DAAC Art Sale, on December 11th and December 12th. It will be open from 5 to 10 on the 11th and 12 to 6 on the 12th. It's a ways off, but I wanted to mention it anyway because it is it is coming up. Like I said, today we're going to be talking to, I am going to be talking to Bret Miller. He's a Waterloo, Iowa artist. And like I said, I'm excited to talk to him for a couple of different reasons because he's just a good guy, and I like talking to him anyway. And, I always like talking to artists, too. I mentioned that. You might actually remember a couple of episodes ago, Bret was the one that Alec Bauer told to fuck off on the mic. And it was meant playfully, but maybe Bret will take it seriously, and there'll be a little artist war on here. I don't know. Time will tell, and we'll find out here in a few minutes. I'm expecting he's going to be, giving me a little bit of shit about my football team, my favorite football team, the Redskins, and I can't really argue him anymore. It's too exhausting because they're just not a very good team. And I'm actually missing them right now. I'm taping this on a Sunday, and that's whatever. They're actually winning because I'm not watching them. Not because of, but. Bret, maybe you'll eat your words, but first we'll have to see if that even gets from. But anyway, let's go check in with him now and talk to Bret Miller. Okay, Bret Miller. This is John Eagle, by the way, and we're at episode number 9 of the Ruix Podcast. And Bret Miller, Iowa artist, is here with me today. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. John, I want to thank you off the top. Because when Rick first asked me to come on the show, I told him that I'd do it on one condition, and that's that you were wearing parachute pants and a baby bonnet. Nothing else.
Right.
And I appreciate you sticking with that.
Yeah, I told Rick, I was like, I was going to wear that anyway, so.
Can I ask where you got the Redskins baby bonnet?
No, you cannot.
Okay. Probably Etsy.
Yeah, I do have a couple of Etsy shops that I like to frequent.
Okay, all right. Just had to get that out there.
All right, man. Well, so you... Actually, I didn't know that you were from Kansas City until we were talking just a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
So you were born in Kansas City,
Yep.
raised in Iowa. What's the history on that?
Grew up in Kansas City. We moved here when I was 15 years old.
Here being Waterloo?
Being Masonville, Iowa, which is a town of about 175 people. So went from a school of around 2,000 people to a school of 500 people.
Oh, wow.
And it was different.
It's a transition.
It was a transition. I do enjoy Iowa a lot. Now, I always thought I'd move back to Kansas City, but I really like Waterloo, Iowa, and plan on sticking around for a while, yeah. And it was always weird because I'm never really sure why we moved up here. Talking to my mom is kind of like when you ask the Joker how he got his scars. Yeah. The story always changed, right. So it's always still somewhat of a mystery, but here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am, yep. And I've lived in Waterloo for... since 1994.
94?
Yep, that's when I moved to Waterloo, went to school at Hawkeye Community College.
Okay.
And ended up going to UNI and was a general studies major there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's let me back up here a little bit. I mean, like your style, I've always admired. I think,
Thanks.
yeah, and I think that, I mean, obviously, a lot of us do. That my brother and like a lot of people that I know have stuff that was either commissioned from you or some of your original works.
It's all over the walls down here too, which is pretty cool. I haven't seen a lot of these pieces in a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Neat.
I know the Dubuque Tattoo Club has some of your work.
Right. Yep. Greg and Alec. Well, Alec doesn't work there anymore, but I got work up in there. Mark Weiland over at
Ink. Yep.
Is that just the name? Just Ink?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
He just bought a couple pieces that I dropped off today of a Hunter S. Thompson and one of a Jeff Hanneman. That I made.
I didn't see the Hanneman.
Yeah, the Hanneman turned out great, and actually
Nice.
my buddy Scott, my buddy Scott, after Mark posted it, he was like, "I thought I bought the Hanneman piece." It's like, well, I made two, so get over it.
Yeah, I saw the Hunter, and that came out awesome.
Yeah, that turned out great.
But it looks. I mean, like just kind of looking at your stuff over the years, like it's obviously pretty informed by like pop culture and politics to some degree.
Yep.
I guess, what do you call what you do? Because there's a lot of portrait work, I know. But,
Right,
it's
which
not
is
always
weird because
that.
I didn't set out to be a portrait artist. It just ended up happening when
Right.
I got into the stenciling.
Do you have something that you sort of refer to your style as? Because I've never seen anything like it, really.
There's lots of stencil artists out there. Off the top of my head, I can think of like Joe Irudo. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Not that you're listening, Joe. Logan Hicks. Just really detailed, multiple layer stencils. When I first started out, I was just doing. The first stencil I ever cut was my logo, the Money Man logo.
Yeah,
with the dollar signs in the eyes. And so
Have
made
that T-shirt.
Okay, great. You're the one.
Yep.
And so just slowly started from there, and I really enjoy the process, the collaging process, and the stencils take quite a bit of work to cut. But with that, comes some benefit. I can make, a couple pieces using the same stencil. And I just fell in love with the process. Because when I started out, I was just doing charcoal illustration, kind of like that piece over there.
Okay.
And started just doing charcoal illustration and just moved on to the stencil and collage and just really have stuck with it ever since. I just really enjoy the process and doing
therapeutic
that
in a way, probably.
Yeah. Until there's like a show like 2 days out or something, I'm racing around the basement trying to get stuff done. So
Right.
yeah, so it's very time consuming. I've been kind of taking this week off a little bit. It was last year I was really busy, so I told myself I was going to take it easy this year, but it hasn't quite happened.
Okay.
So
wow.
But I don't know where we
in
started
time,
with that.
perhaps.
In time,
Because you were just here last weekend, I know, and you were showing at the Ink and Art Expo.
Yep, came
right?
out for the Dubuque Ink and Art Expo. Been coming every year since the beginning. Always a good time. Always enjoy hanging out with everybody, and I enjoy visiting Dubuque.
Yeah, and actually, I should say, just say for the record that we were actually scheduled to talk that weekend. Yeah,
we were.
Shit got fucked up in a pen.
All right.
Again, sorry for that happening.
Yep, you are.
But here we are.
Here we are.
I didn't have to say anything, motherfucker.
That's true. But back to what you were saying with the process, kind of what I come up with my stuff.
Right.
I found that, I generally, unless it's commissions, I generally do all my work is stuff that I enjoy personally.
Yeah.
I find that trying to create art with the intention of selling it is basically a waste of art supplies. It just never hits.
Yeah.
It just never
I'm
hits.
sure.
And so just basically focus on what I enjoy, what I'm moved by, and that's what's been carrying me.
What's the last piece that you think you made specifically to move? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, that was the last piece, and I've had it for 2 years now, and it was just hanging upstairs at the salon exhibit, actually. I just painted, I was like, oh, maybe I'll make a nice flower. People buy flowers.
But that was a pleasant flower, though.
That was a pleasant flower.
I like that.
And then I also don't ever mark stuff on sale. And so I had turned that piece into kind of a statement piece, kind of a joke more than anything, and just spray painted 50% off on the front of the image. And I think it actually looks better now than it did.
Yeah.
And it I don't know. Like I said, if something makes me giggle, that's kind of what seems to work.
Yeah, I guess I never saw it before, but I think that's a nice touch too.
Yeah.
So besides, your work being, semi-political, like I said,
Right.
sometimes, or, informed by pop culture, what else sort of drives you, like kind of influences your work, I guess? Like, do you find that growing up largely in the Midwest kind of has something to do with it? Or?
No, I really when I was younger, I was huge into skateboarding. So all this, skateboarding art, even the skateboarding itself is almost a culture.
It absolutely is.
The clothing
in this town,
that
is no exception.
Right. And so I would say, that influenced me a lot. When I got into high school, I was more into music and stuff, and so me and my buddy Ian would. We were big metalheads, so we really liked the artist Pusshead.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Pusshead did all the Metallica,
sure. Did the Metallica
stuff. Yep. And all the Slayers are just some like really dark, disturbed. What's wrong with these guys? We were just goofing around, but it really freaked our parents out at time. I think at one point my buddy Ian got called into the principal's office.
Oh yeah,
about a Slayer piece that he did. But yeah, album art, early on skateboarding art, and I had drawn ever since I was a kid. Mom was big on me drawing. Enrolled me in classes at the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art when I was. 9, I guess.
Oh, so it goes back that far.
Right, it goes
cool.
back, yeah. And so that kind of really exposed me to art. Then even in took some like cartooning classes out at what's called, I think it's called JUCO. It's just it's a community college. They had art classes out there and stuff, and so I always enjoyed it. And then, I kind of fell off in high school because then I got into music, played in a band even in high school and in through college, my band Measure. And then we kind of just stopped playing one day, and I was like, I really want to get back into art in some way.
Yeah.
And so just started hitting it really hard. Was thinking about going back to school, but didn't want any more student loans for it. And I don't know what the payoff return is on college and art degrees. Sorry, but I'm going to go ahead and
still trying to figure that out.
There. Right. So really, I've just been hitting it really hard. And it's just paid off. I just work.
Yeah.
Nonstop, making 1,000 mistakes.
Sure. You got to
finding what works.
Right.
So, yeah.
So like when you were like a young man, I guess.
Yes.
When you wore a younger man's clothes.
All right.
I
still dress like I'm pretty much a teenager. So
yeah, so do I. Like, was there like a time or like a thing that you noticed really early on that like sort of prompted an interest in creating art? Like cartoons or things like that. Like anything that you can remember. I'm just wondering.
I can't think of anything in particular. I was just always kind of drawn to it. Get it? And
pun intended.
Right. Always enjoyed. I think there's something weird with artists, musicians. We all kind of say it's kind of a narcissism. Like, I need to do this, and then I need to show everybody what I've done.
Yeah, and that goes for any medium, really. I mean, music
right.
and fucking anything. But
yeah, and so I've always enjoyed the feedback. I mean, people I even went to high school with were like, "Oh, you were really cool at drawing back then." And my friend Scott Lester was really he was kind of above us all as far as art was concerned. But I always looked up to him a little bit in high school as far as artists are concerned. And I don't know what Scott does now, but he's a super talented artist.
Yeah?
Yeah. My buddy Sean Walter that went to high school with as well, he's a very talented artist out of Des Moines, too. And so actually kind of seeing him move a little bit, later as he got into his art and was going out, hitting shows, selling art, that kind of encouraged me to do it.
Oh, I'm sure.
More, too. Yeah.
What about, like, did you ever get into comics and stuff like that?
I wasn't a big comic book person, but I read them now.
Yeah,
which is
you do?
strange. Yeah, more into like graphic novel stuff and the
Walking Dead and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
I read
Miller.
The Walking Dead. Really liked The Watchmen. Really like Neil Gaiman.
I like him too.
Who's the other?
There's not a whole lot that I know, but
right.
The stuff that I've read,
He's
I
a
like.
lot of work out there. Yeah,
he does, and it's not all graphic novels either.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, any other like artists, I guess, that whether comic artists or whatever, like artists that you
jump out at me.
What's that?
I'm trying to think of artists that kind of jump out. There's,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I could just, I guess, open up my Instagram feed and look at it. But as far as like surrealism is concerned, like Todd Shore is a monster artist and surrealist. It's just great work. I encourage people to check him out.
Yeah.
Like I said, as far as stencil art is concerned,
Okay.
Logan Hicks I'm a big fan of his. C215, I don't know what his real, I think it's Christian Guemi. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. A guy named Dan Witz that's actually a street artist, and he also does big oil murals of mosh pits, which are just really powerful.
Oh, that sounds rad.
Yeah. So those are some guys that really, and I just constantly. That's the one thing I do like about Instagram is the art on there. You can be exposed to so much.
Oh,
more,
so much. Yeah,
so much
absolutely.
work that's out there and can kind of influence you and stuff. Yeah.
Do you ever get into writing or any other kind of mediums? I mean, I know you're a musician too, and I want to talk about that in a minute.
Right. No, but I do have kind of a long-term, I don't even think I've told my wife this kind of thing, a long-term goal of maybe doing a graphic novel or, a series of maybe comic books based on a juvenile delinquent. And actually the name of the comic would be Juvenile. And what I plan on doing is be taking a lot of stories that from my work, because I'm in social work, and kind of incorporating them into there. And so that's kind of like a later life thing that I may kind of
sort
look
of a bucket
into.
list.
Yeah, and I do actually jot down little ideas for the book, like ongoing, like different scenes that maybe character introduction and stuff like that.
Cool.
But that's kind of a long-term thing. I think I'd want to take maybe a writing class or something.
Yeah.
Before I just threw
That's
myself
awesome.
into that.
I think that would be great. Okay, so tell me about this band.
Tell you about this band.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
okay, so has there been any others since besides? Would you say it was Measures?
Measure. Yep.
Or Measure.
Met those
So that was the
guys-
high school band.
No, actually
was
my
the-
high school band is an awesome name, War Toad. Yes, War Toad. I even had license plates on my Nissan Datsun pickup truck, War Toad.
I
And
like
someone
it.
stole them, so there's a fan out there that has my old license plate. And we did, basically metal. Influenced by
Classic metal?
Metallica, Slayer. No, not classic. I guess. What do you call that? More thrash metal, I
Yeah.
guess.
Big Four?
Big Four.
Yeah, the big four: Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax.
Yep, exactly. And I missed the Clash of the Titans tour, actually. To go on a date, I think. Pretty,
Broads, man.
if you could see John's face, just disappointment.
I missed it because I was fucking like 8 years old. But
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Well,
Okay. So back to your question. I was in a band in high school, and that's what kind of started me off with music. And I actually had played guitar, and when I moved to town, they were like, "Oh, you know how to play guitar, so you could play bass." And so I did, and I could.
Okay.
And so after high school, I ended up moving to Cedar Falls and actually pinned up a note card in G&G Music saying, bass player, looking for a band. And John Chamberlain got a hold of me and was like, "Hey, you want to come over and play with us tonight? We'll see how it goes and stuff." And went over with my buddy Derek, and we just hung out. We got along great right off the start, and that started it. Let's see, so there was John, Don, Amy, and myself, a little four-piece band.
Okay.
And I guess I'm not sure how to describe our music. Pretty much rock.
Kind of more in the
kind of in the grunge. Not really. Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah,
too.
I would say less punk, but maybe more. I guess alternative. Yeah,
Okay.
Alternative.
Right. So it was like we're talking mid-90s, something like that.
Yeah. That would have been 95 when we got together.
Okay.
Yep. And then we played all the way up to I know that it was out 2001, and so I want to say we played till 2002, and enjoyed it. Loved playing in college. Driving around Ames, Des Moines, Iowa City, Dubuque. We even played Dubuque.
Where?
Yeah, at the was it the Silver Dollar down here?
Oh, yeah.
The old German bank or whatever. Played there with House of Large Sizes one time, and the place was packed. You guys brought it out.
House used to play here quite a bit. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Never got to see him, but
Okay. Yeah.
but I kind of like him now. I didn't like him then, but
Okay, all right.
I've listened to him since then. But and then you mentioned the other day on Facebook when you were doing. Right now, we're in the middle of this like trend on Facebook for listeners. where people are listing 30 bands that they share the stage with or whatever.
I know, and I usually
you
don't.
Did one.
I usually don't get involved in that because typically I find that stuff kind of lame.
It's irritating as fuck.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, but I don't know. With music, it always kind of. I still got kind of a lot of great memories of playing with those guys and driving around in that beat.
The compulsion to
to
to participate is like a lot greater when it's music related. I find.
Right. Not like your favorite memory or
yeah. Or like name 5, fucking teachers that you loved in high school.
Right. Yeah, that's why I could.
But you mentioned $9 Melon Baller, and I was like, holy shit, that's a band I haven't thought about in years.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I could name one of their songs. Technically,
know.
I think I remember seeing their 7 inches.
Okay.
Like in record stores, and I probably did own one of them at one point. I just I just haven't thought about them.
Yeah.
So what's the connection with that band?
We played. They were from Cedar Falls. Actually, I was living in Cedar Falls at the time, and with any music scene, and I noticed that especially with Dubuque too. You kind of, if you're in a band, then you kind of know all the other bands in town. You either see trade shows with.
Fuck yeah, that's the way Dubuque is too.
Right, and so that's how we. I don't know how many shows we played with those guys. Quite a few, yeah. And even when our drummer had back surgery, and Mark Berry that played with $9 Melon Baller actually sat in. Mark was a huge Measure fan. It's always just kind of, Don and I are always just kind of a little bit weird for some reason. But he was a huge Measure fan, so he was like, oh, when he's out for surgery, I definitely want to play drums for you guys. So he did like 3 to 5 shows with us, I guess. Awesome. Yeah, which was really cool.
I guess I didn't realize that those guys were from around here. I mean, I guess I knew that they were Iowa guys, but
right.
I don't know. I just assumed they were from like maybe Iowa City or Cedar Rapids.
Well, he was in another band called Fat Birth and Love Shakers.
Yep, I remember that.
Okay,
yeah, they were. I think you put that on your list too.
Yep. And they did a reunion show. We played with them a couple years ago.
Okay, so you have actually.
Yeah, we did. I haven't done anything since then. People always ask me. I don't know. I think people get turned off by the fact I don't play bass guitar anymore. I'm not sure what that like.
Just don't have the desire anymore.
Yeah, someone's like, "Do you still play bass?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Oh, why?" Like, well, because I just don't really into it. I make art though. If you'd like, And I will say that I make a lot more money selling art than I ever did being in a band.
Amen.
You don't have to split like $200 with 4 people.
So, well, unless you get into a cover band, and that's a different story.
True, that is a different scenario. Yes.
All right. Well, so what else is going on with you, man? Like you said, you're in social work. How you like that? You've been doing it for a while.
I do. I've been doing it ever since I graduated college. First job was at the Blackhawk County Youth Shelter.
Okay.
Then worked at Brimwood Children's Home. Then I worked at Mid-Iowa Family Therapy for like 7 years. Now Family's First past 8. So I think it's like 15 years total. 15 years total because I started I graduated December of 1999 and started in January of 2000.
Okay.
Yeah. And so all the cases I used to do court-ordered child protective type cases, supervised visits.
Yeah.
Testifying, things like that, and I really just there was a few cases that just kind of totally fried me out of that, and so I really got out of that. Yeah. The war on drugs played a big role in that, or it plays a big role everywhere, really.
Yeah,
but kind of got out of it, and so now I do all the kids and families that I work with are all voluntary cases. So like. Johnny's got an anger problem.
Yeah, troubled youth mostly, right?
Right. And so I can kind of relate with that because I got in some trouble when I was a kid.
You now, come on.
Yes. So, and love it. And people are always kind of surprised that I still do it, honestly, because it does have a high turnover rate.
Yeah.
And increased likelihood of depression.
I've heard that too. Yeah. I had an ex that was into social work as well and also was an artist, weirdly enough.
Okay, strange.
And I've heard the same thing.
Yeah. So, but love it. Love the agency I work for. Love the work.
I imagine when you do, sort of connect with a client or whatever, it's sort of rewarding as well.
It can be.
Yeah.
And even though I don't like people asking me if it's rewarding, I will accept that because there are cases, that you get done, you go home at the end of the day, and it's like, that was a great day. And
you made a difference.
Yeah, and this family's moving on. They're developing some skills, and they're handling things, and they're in a much better place than perhaps when I started.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, so what else? We just talked about football a little bit, and I know I'm not getting through this without you at least giving me a little bit of shit about being a Redskins fan. So why don't you get that off your chest right now?
I really don't know what else to say about that other than just the fact that you're a Redskins fan says it all. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you get annoyed with people posting memes like, this is me not caring about football?
Fuck yeah, absolutely.
What is it in people's heads that they need to do that? I just want to say it for the record.
I don't understand it.
It's, this is me. I don't care about football. Oh,
yeah.
Look,
Well,
Shelly
then
liked
just
it.
don't care
it,
and don't. Why do I have to hear about it?
I don't know. It's
I don't even like. Okay, so like, there's another like. No matter what sport is on, like whatever season it is, baseball, basketball, what have you.
Right.
People will like if there's like a trend of people putting up sports related statuses or whatever, there'll always be like a group of assholes that'll be like, what happened in the sports ball game today or something like that, or like did Don Mattingly make a touchdown or something like that? Come on, we get it. You don't care. So don't pretend.
Right. Well, and this link.
It's just condescending.
Like a huge distraction, and we're all just going into some kind of moral chaos. And this is funny because of sports.
Exactly.
And you think I enjoy watching football. I enjoy watching hockey.
Yeah.
My wife that's sitting over there, she enjoys watching golf. It's the most bizarre thing. That
I can't imagine enjoying watching it.
She brings home golf magazines from her office, which is a little bit strange to everybody. But she'll just DVR it all day and make me suffer through some of it. She even knows caddies. She'll have a little conversation. Oh, he used to caddy for Tiger, and now he's.
That's definitely a weird thing.
It's bizarre. I had to call her out a little bit. My lovely wife, Erin,
who's sitting here with us.
With us.
Off to the side. But yeah, like that kind of shit just always bothers me, and it's weird that like when you or I were probably in school, like it was sort of reversed. Like anybody that wasn't into sports were kind of like bullied, and like they were the nerds, and now like the nerds are like nerd is chic, I guess.
I don't
and
know
it's like,
what happened there because I didn't really care for sports all that much in elementary school, high school. We went to football games every once in a while in Kansas City. Went to baseball games every once in a while in Kansas City. Enjoyed it, but I didn't like follow it or anything.
You a Royals fan too?
I really don't follow baseball, to be honest with you. I guess if I had to pick a team, it'd be the Royals because I grew up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then just as I got older, just really started digging football.
Yeah.
And most recently getting into hockey.
Yeah.
Really watching the Blackhawks play.
I want to get back into hockey again, man. I liked it when I was a kid, and then I haven't watched it in years. And it's a fun sport to watch.
Right.
And it's fucking brutal sometimes.
Right. Right.
It's super fast-paced. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that about it.
So we were just talking about, not to cut you off in the sports, but the email that you just sent to the tourist,
yes.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think you should tell that story on the mic because it's really funny.
I think that's a great story to tell. Actually, where did let me read the. Good story. Okay, all right. So I have a thing with art contests, especially art contests, which the reward is exposure. To me, I just don't. I think that if we're gonna support the arts, we want to support our artists. You always hear that. We want to support the arts.
Support local art.
Right.
Yeah.
Support local art. Okay. So the Waterloo, I got a forwarded email. I guess I could just email. So I got a forwarded email asking if I'd apply to an art contest for the cover of the Waterloo Cedar Falls Visitor's Guide. Mm-hmm. So here we go. Beth, my name is Bret Miller, and I'm an artist from Waterloo, Iowa, showing regularly in the Cedar Valley in northeast Iowa. Recently, I received a forwarded email about a contest which offers local artists the opportunity for exposure should they be selected for the cover of our latest visitor's guide. Please know that professional artists have an unwritten rule to avoid contests such as this due to its predatory nature. Exposure is not a form of compensation. I'm certain the Cedar Falls and Waterloo Visitors Bureaus have a budget for this promotional tool, and I sincerely doubt it includes asking writers, editors, photographers, printers, or delivery drivers to donate their craft for exposure. Having said that, I'd like to know the current cost projection for this latest award-winning 80-page publication. And if you aren't sure of the cost, please contact me with whoever can answer this question, as I would like to openly make fun of this contest with everyone I know. Best, Bret Miller.
Oh, that's genius,
and
man.
So then I got, John, I'm going to let you be Aaron. So I got a very lengthy email back from Aaron, the head of the Travelers Bureau. And he had CC'd pretty much his office, a couple other people here. And I'll let you read that.
You want me to read this?
You go ahead and read that. I've read enough.
Okay, from Aaron Buzza. Oh, should I not have said the name?
I
we
don't
can
care.
that.
He
Whatever.
works.
Mr. Miller. Beth Keeney forwarded me your message about our visitor's guide cover art contest this morning, and I wanted to share a bit of the information you requested. First, we appreciate that there may be hesitation in participating in this contest and support the decision you or any artist may make in participating or not. In developing our contest, we don't feel that it is predatory at all, but we can sure understand that people will make decisions based on their own feelings or perceptions.
That's pretty common.
Based on the fact that someone forwarded you the message, I assume that that person felt that you would be interested in it. If you're not, that's perfectly okay.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, man. Our visitor guide has featured cover art from local professional artists the last several years.
Here comes the name dropping.
Gary Kelly, Paco Rosick, and Kim Bame.
Super nice guy.
Okay. Assisted us 3 of the last 4 years by designing and donating artwork for use on the cover. We wanted to expand our reach to other local artists through this effort in an attempt to work with others we may not know personally. The contest is something we've seen others, including the Iowa Tourism Office, do to identify artists and artwork.
Yes.
We print 60,000 guides each year and also make it available to visitors on our website. You can see from the link below the artwork Kim Bame designed for this year's cover. On page 4, you will also find the exposure, in quotes.
Yes.
We offer artists.
The exposure was there.
In addition to that, we have hosted receptions for the artists each year. Because we opened the contest up to both professionals and amateurs of all ages, there's a lot of commas that don't need to be in this, too, by the way.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know if that was a decent writer, I guess.
It's fine, yeah. He's just, I think he's trying too hard with the punctuation, but that's neither here nor there. We didn't specify exactly what the exposure, again in quotes, will be, as we want to recognize the artist appropriately based on who it is. And then it gives a link to the exposure. To the exposure,
yes, yeah. Which is actually a filthy website.
Literally people exposing themselves. No, I'm just kidding. Your question about the budget is somewhat moot. It's moot. We have a partnership with the Courier to produce the guide. Through the partnership, advertising revenue supports the production, and there isn't cost to us for it. The Courier pays for the printing, writing, photography, and design from the advertising revenues. They've not shared, nor would we expect them to share, salary information for the design, sales, writing, and photography, and I would guess they wouldn't be willing to share that elsewhere either. We're excited that this contest will introduce us to local artists and photographers, amateur and professional. It will also introduce our audience to the selected artists as well. We have had great response thus far, both from professionals and amateurs, and look forward to seeing the Cedar Valley represented through new eyes on our visitor guide cover in 2016. We'd love to have you participate, but understand completely if you feel that you don't want to. Thank you, Bess, Aaron Buzza.
They're very understanding.
Yes.
And so that was a very lengthy response, and I just emailed back, thanks for getting back to me on that.
Yeah.
That's it.
You could have gone further, but
could have went further, right? But I guess, like I said,
let a snarky dog lie.
Right. And, everybody's got their opinion, but
But he really didn't answer the question.
No, he didn't. So I had to do some digging.
Okay.
And I found some answers to that, and that's with the advertising price sheet. But basically, the prices vary. Advertisement the size of a business card, I want to say, is $800. Full page ad, $2,500. And I've looked at the visitor's guide.
Very reasonable.
Very reasonable if you have a lot of money. It's extremely reasonable.
Yeah, sure.
And so if you figure 50% of the visitor's guide is advertising. Mm-hmm. And I guess if you could rough estimate, they're selling $100,000 worth of advertising.
Yeah.
I feel that they could at least give a nominal. I just actually, just fair compensation, or just like $100. Here's $100. Good job.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that. We want to respect that. Mm-hmm. Because you wouldn't have someone have like a lawn mowing contest. Like, okay, I'm having a lawn mowing contest, John.
Whoever makes the mayor's yard looks the best.
Right, exactly. And then we're going to put a sign in my front yard, and that's going to be a ton of exposure for
Right,
you.
exactly.
There. So that's where I stand on it. And I know there's other artists out there because this happens quite a bit with logo contests. There's actually companies that will run logo contests for other companies, so they can get a bunch of free art, and then the artist gets exposure. You know, he made a great logo for the local
exposure,
right?
Quotes
for the local doctor's clinic or whatever. So
right.
I just think it's lame. I think it's just like band contests.
Well, dude, it's like
The Voice.
that's what I was saying before. It's like a battle of the bands, except when you're asked to do it and you're in your 30s, it's sort of embarrassing, you know. Especially if you fucking do it, you know. I was in a battle of the bands in high school, and I'm not going to mention any names because I still know and I'm friends with the guy. But like, there was a guy, like a band that beat us. My high school band,
all right,
beat us at the Kennedy Mall Battle of the Bands.
Oh, that must.
And they were like in their 40s.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
So
they're very humbling. I could see that being like a teen after-school movie or something.
Yeah. Oh, God, I mean, like we went up and we did one of our original songs. And
okay,
of course it wasn't very good. I was fucking 18 or whatever.
Right.
Not even like 15.
Okay.
And then these guys got up and did like a really like dramatically played version of like I think it was like Us and Them by Pink Floyd or
okay. All right.
Something like that. It was some Pink Floyd song. It was just stupid, you know.
Okay.
And that's how I feel about battles of bands.
Right.
But yeah, that's a fucking awesome story.
Well, thank you.
Really
I appreciate it. I just wanted to share it with you all. And I just encourage artists out there, respect your work.
Yeah, exactly.
Because sometimes there's a lot of people out there that just won't.
But I mean, there's also I guess it's a case-by-case basis, but like,
And I do, I donate work to fundraisers, stuff for the food bank, work like that.
Right.
I have no problem helping out a nonprofit, charity. But this is a for-profit.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I could buy my truck twice for the amount that they want for a business card size fucking ad. Like what I paid for my truck is half that.
Wow,
that's ridiculous. Well, I mean,
it's really nice.
not a really great truck, but it gets me around.
It gets you around,
but you know what I mean.
Right. So that's what I just want to share that with y'all and kind of shout out.
There's
where
also
I'm at with it, and actually the person that forwarded me the email, they felt bad about it, and I was like, "Well, you're not doing the art contest." And she's like, "I just didn't think of it that way, and now that when I think of it that way, and it's just something that people don't think about, really.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, they kind of did you a favor because they gave you the opportunity to kind of thumb your nose.
Yeah, it gave me a little
vocally.
Gag, something to joke around with you about
electronically,
other people. And
no, I think that's really funny.
I get paid to be immature, so I might as well carry it out with other people.
It is a right of the artist to sort of whore their work out if they want to, though. Too.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
that's the other side of the coin.
Right.
So.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I can respect that if you're fucking broke and you decide.
Yeah.
Well,
no, you're not getting anything.
You're
getting exposure.
Yeah, if you can somehow pay your rent with exposure, then
right,
I guess I stand corrected.
I'm still waiting for that day to come. I'm gonna be loaded.
Well, listen, where can people see your artwork?
Oh, that's good. We probably should have put it up at the beginning. But anyway, you can visit me on Facebook, just under Bret Miller. And you can go to my website, www.bretmillersart.com. That's with one T. And then I'm also on Instagram under Bret Miller's Art as well.
Okay. At Bret Miller's Art. Are you on Twitter? Do you do the Twitter
I don't
thing
twit.
You don't twat?
I don't do that. No.
Do you have a Google Plus or a...
no.
Do you have an LO? Do you remember that shit?
No, I don't.
From like a year ago? Lasted like 18 seconds.
I think I'm on Chat Roulette.
I don't even know what that is. Wow.
Remember Chat Roulette?
No.
Okay. Someone will.
Is that from
show.
AOL Online or something? Or America Online?
You'd get online and they just flip you all of a sudden. You'd be chatting with somebody.
Wow. Okay. No, I don't.
Anyway, but those are the best ways to view my work.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about I know there's a couple of shops in Iowa that have your stuff besides what we mentioned earlier. There's like a Cedar Falls shop that has.
There is.
I took a look at your website, and it's really nicely done, but I just wanted, I saw there was a couple physical shops.
Right, yeah. Plaid Peacock carries my work in Waterloo, Iowa. Gallery 106 in Cedar Falls carries my work. Luna in Cedar Falls carries some of my work as well.
Okay.
Platinum Rose Studio in Marion carries my work, although I've been really bad about not getting them any new work recently.
Okay.
And I basically just book shows as they come up. I'm really not working on any shows right now. And I am, but I'm not making any new work for a show right now. I'll probably start looking to book some new shows maybe in the spring of next year.
Spring? Okay.
Yep, spring. And then I'll create a body of work and carry it around to several places and then
take football season
go
off.
from there. Yeah, exactly. Play a lot of video games.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Right.
Cool. Well, what about... You seem to come to Dubuque a lot. You have an affinity for Dubuque and us folk here.
I do enjoy Dubuque, and we enjoy you, most
buddy.
of you.
Most of you.
No,
those exceptions, you know who you are,
right? I'm sure they do. Dubuque has great people. I think Waterloo and Dubuque have a lot in common as far as
we were talking about
what
that.
We've gone through, and Aaron and I were talking about this just when we got to town, just how, you come to Dubuque in like the early 90s, mid 90s, and it was a different town back then.
It really was.
Yeah. And there's
no denying that.
Right. And just the whole downtown riverfront is beautiful, and I think that your main street is really taken off. And then you look and you see that going just in a lot of towns, Cedar Falls, Waterloo, just a lot of investments into the downtown areas and stuff.
Clinton doesn't seem to be getting any better.
Clinton's kind of a different story.
Sorry, Aaron. I know that's your hometown. It's kind of a nightmare, a little bit. But you're right. And I haven't spent a whole lot of time in Waterloo, but I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like in terms of
similar crime problems.
Well, yeah. I mean, and I haven't even talked about this on this show, and you're the perfect person to talk to because you and I have talked about it before. And that's that, people freaking out when there's I'm not saying that when a crime happens that it's not sort of a big deal, and there's been a noticeable, shift upward in the trend. It's just it's not fucking South Central LA where you fucking relax and people doing the making their own Facebook groups about wanting their town back, and you're not going to do anything, so why bother doing this? And you said Waterloo has
we've got ours, and then actually, I will stick up for them a bit. They have made some change, and they've got what sprung out of that is we got a lot of neighborhood associations now, and doing activities like cleaning up. It's not directly addressing the crime problem. I think that's a problem that. Yeah, I don't even know where you'd start with that problem. But at least bringing the community together a little bit more, knowing your neighbors, pitching in at times.
That's a thing that. And then there's knowing your neighbors. A lot of people don't do that anymore.
Right. And we're fortunate. We live in a neighborhood. We have a lot of great neighbors. I tell them when we're leaving town, so they can just kind of keep an eye on the place too.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, with the negative comments that go on anytime there's a poor house that gets shot. It's Facebook is the new bathroom wall.
You ain't kidding. That's a good way to put it.
It's people will just come up with stuff to be angry about. I don't even think that a lot of people even believe what they're saying, but they're just trolling, looking for arguments to get into and things. And
with bad spelling.
I do. With bad, yes, exactly. That's one thing that's uniform to all those arguments. God. And I do my best to stay out of them, but I also every once in a while I find myself posting, replying, and it's Bret, stop.
I know. Engaging is it's such poison, but fuck, sometimes you can't help it.
I just have to. Yeah, sometimes I have to. But yeah.
Well, do you have anything else that you want to sort of plug? You said you don't have any shows coming up.
I don't really have any shows coming up. I think I'm going to do the. We'll see if I get accepted. There's a show in Waterloo that's coming up, and really, along with social media, I make a lot of sales on social media. That's been a huge.
I imagine that's a great avenue.
Right. So, yeah, nothing big. No big street art projects or anything like that coming up.
You do a lot of street art?
I do some street art around Waterloo. Basically, started with making some politically incorrect signs like drug war zone, eat the poor,
I've seen your Money Man sticker,
right,
you know, in various places.
And so a lot of those signs got taken down. I mean, I think they were kind of abstract for people that didn't realize I was just joking. But they looked like official city signs. So what I moved into is doing signs for playgrounds, for our disc golf course.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so I really enjoy doing those around town and just go out in the middle of the day. Aaron will help me out, and we'll just go hang them up on just old boards that are around town. And people think they're official.
Yeah.
So they stay up for long periods of time.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. So I've really enjoyed doing that, and it's
Have you
just
had
again,
too
it's
many-
just something that I enjoy doing and want to put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had too many city officials or anything get up your ass about it?
No one said anything about it.
awesome.
Because I mean, really, if anybody didn't like it, they could just unscrew it, take it down. I have one
true.
at the skate park that was really cool, and I really expected that to be stolen, and it was stolen. Well, it's not really stealing. I mean, it wasn't. It's free. I just put it up there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
That's cool.
But I'm sure that's hanging on some kid's bedroom wall, which is kind of cool too. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I personally would like to. Well, first of all, thank you for making the trek. I know you had to pick up your stuff from the salon
Yeah.
show anyway, but
Yep.
I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
And I, if you ever have anything to sort of prompt or not prompt, but like sort of promote. If you have anything coming up, let me know because
Yeah.
I can put it in the blog, or I could even as part of the show, just give you a call and we can record it,
Cool.
something like that.
I will say that what you guys got going on here at the Dubuque Area Arts Coalition is really cool. And I did
thanks,
say
man.
that right. Yeah.
Collective, but coalition's
collective,
I like that too.
coalition. But I think it's really cool. It gives a lot of young emerging artists the opportunity to show and really there's not a whole lot of places that you can show, especially if you're just getting started out. I mean,
It's true, yeah.
that's huge for your community. I'm sure you guys recognize, I'm sure that affects a lot of people. It's really cool.
For sure, yeah.
opportunity.
Well, much appreciated for you saying that, and it's fun to do. I'd like to add, it's fun doing, especially the music shows because that's a little bit more like what we kind of know on this side of the Ruix side, of course. But it's fun to do.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Oh, that's
So,
great. Provides a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right.
no
Good
problem.
to see you,
Thanks
buddy.
for having me, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay, Bret Miller. I told you it was going to be a good talk. I kind of hope that one of these days I'm going to be able to do an outro where it'll be like, man, it sucked talking to that guy, or that girl, whatever. We're not sexist here at the Ruix Podcast. But yeah, one of these days maybe that'll happen. Maybe I'll talk to somebody that's a little more cantankerous than me, or something like that, and it won't be enjoyable. But so far, knock on wood, it's been enjoyable, and Bret was no exception. It's too bad that Alec did not get brought up, because I was hoping that there would be a little back and forth bitch fest between regional artists, but the show's still young, so maybe it'll happen yet. Like I said, Music Series 8 on October 16th. That's going to feature Gosh, Arc Numbers, and the Deep Light, and the Dark Slide Skateboard Show on November 28th upstairs at the DAAC galleries. Also at the DAAC galleries is going to be the art sale that I mentioned on December 11th and December 12th. Thanks, Bret, for coming. One more time, I want to mention his where you can see his stuff. At Bret Miller's Art is his Instagram handle, and that's got a lot of really cool pieces and photographs that he takes. So check that out if you're so inclined to check out social media. He's also got a website of his own. That's www.bretmillersart, BretMillersArt.com. Also has some cool stuff, and a couple of locations that I'm blanking on right now that you can physically go to and see his art hanging in a couple of different shops here in Eastern Iowa. I can mention that out at Dubuque Tattoo Club that he has here in Dubuque, you can see some of his art hanging. He's a talented guy. And as always, thanks for tuning in. We got a lot of great guests coming up, so don't forget to hit subscribe on iTunes. We got Miles Nielsen coming up, Christina Castaneda, tons more. Well, hopefully tons more. Just keep tuning in, and thanks a lot.